Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the platform with me, Mama Sewa. I do apologise for the late start today. We usually do start 8:30, but we had some slight technical hitches, or big hitch, hence why we're late coming on air. We do apologise, and thank you for your patience. I am in a studio this evening with the very lovely Sharon. Say hello, Sharon.
Hi. Yeah.
See the lips blinging. So, I've been dying to get Sharon on this show for a very long time. A couple of weeks ago, she agreed to come on, and I was well excited. So, very, very excited. Oh, Velly. See, it's my R's and my L's. Sometimes when I get excited, it comes out like this, you see. So I'm very excited for you to be here. I thank you for coming in because I know you don't live around the corner, so you've come far, and I really appreciate you doing so. So we're talking about motherhood today.
Yes.
I asked you, what should we talk about when you come on the show, and you straight away you're like, I've got lots to say, but let's talk about motherhood. So I know you've got a lot to say, right?
Definitely.
Okay, awesome. So we are talking about motherhood, the great parts of it, the not so good, the challenges of motherhood, just everything really. Sharon's going to share some of her experience with us and also some of her thoughts about mothers in general. So if you're a mother, you have a mother, you've had a mother, that means everybody, you want to be a mother someday, you admire mothers, do call in and join us in the studio. The telephone number is 0203 002 8482. That's the local landline number. If you are calling us on WhatsApp, the telephone number is +44 203 002 8482. That's our WhatsApp number. Of course, you can also join us on Facebook, on FireLive Radio on Facebook. You can join us on YouTube. You can listen in on TuneIn Radio and also watch us on Periscope TV. So there is no reason why you can't, basically. So Sharon, please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Okay, so I'm Sharon.
Hello.
I have 4 children with a range of ages.
Okay.
31,
What?
21, 11 and 7.
Wow.
And I'm also a grandmother, so yeah. My eldest is I've got a girl, she's 31, she'll be 32. So I've got a son, he's going to be 22 this year, another son who's 12 next week, and another son who's going to be 8 later on in the year. So I love my children. I'm really blessed to have children. People often ask me, why is there such a huge gap? And I often respond, you don't really think about children until if you're pregnant. If you're not pregnant, you're not thinking about children sometimes, but once they're here, then you just got to get on with it. So that's the gap. It wasn't like a planned 10-year plan. It just,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I've got one child born 87, one 97, one 2007. So
Wow,
so
the
my son
sevens.
said to me, my son said to me, why didn't you wait to have one in 2017? Why did you have to have one in? And I'm saying like, no, I think that would have been a bit much.
Wow, you really like the sevens, don't you?
I don't know, it's just that it's
Prophetic.
definitely. It's still just how it's panned out.
Wow.
Definitely how it's panned out.
Okay. Do you know what? I didn't know you had a 30 something. So what? Did you have kids at 10?
I don't know, maybe 3. Not really.
Blimey. Sharon, I actually didn't know.
Yeah, my daughter's 32. She's 32 this year, so.
But how?
Yeah,
Can
I know.
people, guys, can you look at this lady and tell me that, like, your children from your belly?
Yeah, all
I
delivered.
didn't
All
know.
carried, delivered, definitely.
Oh,
So yeah, I've got.
wow.
Yes, I have different experiences from different time frames in my life, from teens to 20s to 30s to 40s, and they're all different,
Wow.
but all very much worth it.
Definitely.
All very much worth it.
Definitely. Wow, see, you learn a new thing every day. And we haven't gone through any questions
Hmm.
prior, so I'm definitely sure I'm going to be learning a lot more about you because I do have questions for you,
No problem.
but we haven't rehearsed anything.
No.
So this is quite a nice surprise. I can't believe you've got a 30-year-old. We're going to
Yes.
talk some more about that
Okay.
a bit later.
No problem.
So, what types of mothers do you think there are?
I think I think there are many different types of mothers.
Mhm.
I think there are. I don't know. I'd say that there's really good mothers.
Mhm.
You know, there's really loving, committed. I think you've got really poor mothers who are mothers because they were pregnant and necessarily might not have had the tools or might not even have looked at what mothering is about.
Mhm.
You know, I think mothering is like a multifaceted thing
Yeah.
where you're kind of the way you're parented impacts on the way that you parent. So it's that element of it. But it's also to do with your character, you know, what type of person you are. So, i.e., if you were parented very poorly, you
Yeah.
don't now have an excuse to parent very poorly because you
Yeah.
were parented poorly.
Yeah.
Because obviously you were the you were the receiving end of what it was like, and
Yeah.
so it's for you to kind of make some steps to kind of resolve some issues.
Yeah.
And having really good parents doesn't necessarily make you a really good parent.
Nope.
You know, you still play a role in how you mother, how you nurture, how you care. You know,
Yeah.
some people are really selfish, some people are really self-centered.
Mhm.
You know, some people are really loving, some people are really kind. So I think parenting or being a mother, I think it takes a lot because, you know, you can have they say seven brothers, 7 different minds. So
Yeah.
if you've got one child or 2 children or 3, no matter how many children you have, they're all going to be different.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, you feel that you're parenting them in the same way, but you can't really parent different individuals in the same way
Yeah.
because we're not robots. You have to parent them in a way that fits them,
Mhm.
and that's what I've found. You know, one brush doesn't fit all,
All. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
not even about gender. So it's not like, oh, you treat boys one way or you treat girls another way. It's
Mhm.
really just down to the individual. You know,
Yeah.
how you actually treat that child and what you're trying to get out of that child. Because obviously, all children have different destinies.
Yeah.
So you can't, you know, I'm not raising a house full of plumbers. They've all
Yeah.
got different aspirations. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's very insightful because you just think it's a mum. It's a mum.
Yeah.
You're a mum. That's
Yes.
it. But you are right. There are very different kinds of mothers. So I'm going to ask you, what kind of mother do you think you are?
Okay, I love my children, but
Mhm.
I'm not a tactile. I'm not, I'm not overly huggy kind of parent.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm very committed. You know, I'm always in my children's corner.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that they're always right. It just means that I'm always in their corner. You know, I'm
Yeah.
always going to be for them.
Yeah.
You know, so if like for instance, we go to school, the teacher says something,
Mhm.
I'm not automatically going to be on the teacher's side. I need to find out from my child
What's
what happened.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously if I'm always on the teacher's side, then I'm going to be alienating my child.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
find that I'm firm and fair.
That's
I try to see things from both perspectives,
Mhm.
and I try to obtain the truth. And I always say to my children, I've got bigger children. I've always said I'm not raising drug dealers. I'm
Yeah.
not raising murderers. I'm not trying to visit anybody in prison.
That's it.
You know, so I'm always trying to get the best out of them and enable them to kind of get a better insight of life
Mhm.
and not do the same things that I've done. So
Okay.
I say to them, I want you to be better than me, you know, in every respect. And so I'm always expecting them to kind of listen to the examples that I'm giving them to
Mhm.
avoid certain pitfalls.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, I didn't have that guidance. And so I would say that the way that I was parented opened me up to certain things that probably
Mhm.
I should have been protected from. Because when you're young, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about the world.
Yeah.
So my aim as a parent is to really just nurture, love, and you know get the most out of them. And
Mhm.
equally, I want them to enjoy me being their mother.
Yeah.
You know, I want to enjoy them being my children. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a full-time job.
Mhm.
It's definitely a challenging job. You know, because you never know what they're going to throw at you. You go to school. Oh, can we have a word with you? You've now got to be taken away. Your child's being told off for something, and you think like, oh my goodness, you did what? You know, like, and it's always some random thing. It's always some random, like my 11-year-old. I'm always saying to him, don't you know what kind of parent you've got? Don't you know what I'm like? Like, why would you go to school
And do
this?
that?
You know, we're always getting into it. I mean, we've had a turnaround.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because he's got a hobby now, so he's now really committed to dancing. So he's
Oh.
so he started dancing. He's auditioned for a dance group, got in.
Well
so
done.
Now all of his focus is about dancing. His manners are just. I mean, I must say, all of my children are very mannersable.
Yeah.
You know, it's really important to me that you be respectful.
Yes.
And so I've always said, like, even if an adult is rude to you, come to me.
Yeah.
I will be your advocate rather than your argument with an adult, because you're never going to win, are you?
No.
But equally, how I was brought up, my mum's old school Jamaican, and my mum says you can tell anybody anything anytime you want. Now, in reality, you can't.
You can't.
You can't do that. I got myself in a lot of trouble following that advice. You know what I mean? I got myself into a lot of bother.
Wow.
So I've learned through that poor example.
Yeah.
I don't want people, because people used to say that the girl, they shouldn't have no manners.
Mm-mm.
Because I'd walk into your house and not say hello.
Uh-oh.
You know, just little things that you're just not taught, little things that you're not picked up on.
Uh-oh.
You know, you can kind of translate it, and if someone said anything to me, I'm very vocal. You know, I'm vocal anyway.
Yeah.
So imagine vocal as a child with no manners. That's huge.
Jesus.
So yeah, I learned. Yeah, exactly. I learned a lot. Because it's enough of those old black women. Oh my gosh. All they used to say that the girl, they shouldn't have no manners.
Uh-oh.
Well, just be like, whatever, what are you talking to?
Oh my
God. So yeah, I think from experience, I've learned manners takes you through the world. And so anyone who knows me and anyone who knows the 3 first children will always say they've got impeccable manners.
Oh,
I have to exclude the youngest one because he's in a package all by himself, so I can't really include him in the mix right now. But the other 3, they're.
Yeah. Do you know what? In I mean, I know your youngest too. Yes, they're good boys. They get quite excited, but they are good boys.
Definitely.
I do like them, and they've got good manners. In Ghana, we've got this thing whereby if your youngest child starts misbehaving, the threat is that I will have another one.
Oh, okay.
I'll have another child, so all the focus will be taken off you. And in fact, the other day, my sister said that to her youngest, to Rayma, because she wasn't feeling very well, and then she was just acting a bit funny. And then my sister's like, "You just carry on. I'm going to have another one." And I was like, okay, well, let's hope the other one doesn't pick up that as well, because it's that last born being very precious.
Yeah,
everyone's got their eyes on you, so it's a thing. So maybe you need to have another one, but you have to wait for the next 7. No?
I'll be too old.
Oh, well, that's debatable because, wow.
That's a long time to wait. 27. Oh, praise the Lord. Anyhow.
Amen to that. So, when you found out you were pregnant for your first child, what was your feeling? Do you remember?
Well, I don't know if I want to talk about that, because I was really quite young.
Okay.
I think, I'm going to talk about it. I always like to be honest. So basically, I had this teenage concept, which a lot of teenagers have. When you feel unloved, you feel that if you have a baby, the baby's going to love you. So it's a disillusion. You're disillusioned thinking that a baby's going to love you. A baby does not love you. A baby cries, is demanding, needs nappies, needs all of these things. You know, a baby learns to love you over time, but a baby does not, a baby doesn't love you. It doesn't have the capabilities to love you when it's born. That baby's looking to be loved. So I would say that was probably my school of thought when I got pregnant at a young age.
Okay.
And yeah, it was an experience. It was an experience.
Okay.
Not one I'd regret. It's not. I don't look at it in regret. I just think it's just a learning curve because I
Yeah.
did my best to be the
A
best
good
type
one.
of parent that I could be.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a testament because even like today,
Mm-hmm.
I speak to my daughter practically every day. So, you know,
it's
if
quite
you
a
think
nice
about,
bond.
we're very, very close,
Yeah.
and I must have done something right, you know, like, because I know a lot of children are estranged from their parents once
Yeah.
they get to a certain age.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can say that no,
You and your daughter, right?
yeah, and I've consistently, I think she was about 16, 15, 16, going through that real, you know, age of defiance.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a phone, so she had a mobile phone. I mean, that's how long ago. She had a mobile phone from
Mm-hmm.
about 13, and she was talking to me on the phone. I don't know what I was saying to her. She hung up the phone. The phone bill that I'm paying, you know, I just phoned T-Mobile because
Oh,
back in the day
it was
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
I cut that off instantly.
Oh my.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, how dare you? Like, I'm paying your phone bill and you're cutting off the phone. Like, you're getting too boisterous.
Right.
Yeah, that phone call was, and then I thought, oh my gosh, like, I've cut off the phone, now I can't access you, innit?
No,
Like,
what if she needs
you know,
me?
like,
Yeah.
so I think I probably didn't speak to her
Mm-hmm.
because she wasn't staying with me at the time. She'd just gotten into somewhere to live independently,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time I was working with young people, and I thought, you know what, you can't be looking after other people's children
Yeah.
and you don't even know where your own child is. So I
Yeah.
think I probably put the phone back on about 2 or 3 days later. But I still didn't speak to her.
How much was your heart beating through
oh
that
my
time?
Gosh, look, I'm a warrior. I'm probably, like, I spent a lot of time crying.
Oh.
Yeah, trust me. You know, if I get in, like, she might have left their key, and so I've come in, she's not there.
Oh.
I'm like, where is she? This time she's at my neighbour's.
Oh.
I'm frantic. I'm a natural warrior. They know this. The kids know this. They can't just not speak to me for days, because if I ring the phone, even like in last week, I rang her phone in the morning, it's off. I rang it an hour later, it's off. I'm starting to ring around her friends. Have you spoken to her today? Because you know her phone's off. I'm ringing the house phone. The house phone's not answering. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go up there now, because obviously, who knows what's happened?
It's true. This
You
day
know,
and age, you
and
can't be sure.
Then she sent a message to me to say, oh, my phone's not working.
Oh.
I can't find the house phone, but some on FaceTime. So the phone,
Okay.
the brand new phone, the phone's literally a week old, wasn't turning on. But that's the kind of parent I am. I don't necessarily think the worst, but
You do worry,
I
because
do worry.
naturally,
Yeah.
that's what mothers do.
Yeah, I do
well,
worry.
That's what good mothers
Definitely.
do. They worry about their children when they can't get in touch with them. I understand. Wow. And obviously your daughter also knows that you're a warrior, because she called you.
Yeah,
She must be like, Mum is going to go
She got
mad.
a message to somebody to call me because she was on FaceTime.
Okay.
I'm not an iPhone fan. I like Samsung.
Me too.
So, yeah, that was the only way she could communicate. So I was like, okay, yeah, relax. But so imagine that growing up
Yeah.
when there wasn't all of this technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
What were we doing before phones and all the
Wow.
social media?
Well, I
and-
would drop her a lot of places. So
Mhm.
I would always take her where she, like, if she wanted to go out or do something, I'd be
Mm.
dropping her and picking her up. Because I never thought that you shouldn't go out. I think you should still go out.
Yeah.
But I just think, you know, you should be able to get back home. So a lot of the arguments we would have was about the latchkey kids. You know, the children who no one cared about. Remember
Yeah.
She wants to be with one of those. So she wants to be that child who can be out till God knows what time and come in God knows what time and nobody notices. And I spent a lot of years trying to convince her that being a latchkey kid, nobody who is a latchkey kid wants that.
Yeah.
They just don't have the
It's
option.
not in fashion.
Yeah, you know. So it's only like, I think the rewards of my parenting really comes from the older children when they say, yeah, Mum, you know, we know you stressed us out, but
Yeah. It was
you were
worth
coming
it.
from the right place. Do you know what I mean? Even like my son was like, yeah, you did teach me well, you know, Mum. You did teach me well. A lot of the
That's
stuff, you know, and you think, okay.
You've done
okay.
something right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, last Mother's Day,
Yeah.
the amount of gifts I got, it kind of sent home. I mean, most Mother's Day, they're always taking me out. So it's not like a new thing, or it's not like they'll always do stuff for me, my children, the bigger ones.
Mhm.
But the amount of things I got for Mother's Day this year, you'd think I had about 10 children. I had I had perfumes, I had flowers, I had a plant, I had chocolates.
God.
You know, like I had cup, I had I had money, and I was
Oh,
like, I looked back and I
wow.
thought, yeah, I've definitely done a good job with
It's a
these children.
testament to
Definitely,
you.
because I've been a single parent. I've got 4 children, and I've been a single parent for. I mean, obviously, I wasn't a single parent when I made them,
Mm-hmm.
but I've parented them on my own over the years. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like to even have bigger children that are functioning adults and hold down jobs and are secure,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think that's, for me, I'm really happy with my efforts. I think
It's
because I love them.
well done.
They're really good, because it could have gone another direction. So
Yeah.
especially when you think about now, you hear a lot about single parents. That's why the children are killing each other, and single parents.
But
I'm a
that's not
single
the
parent.
case.
I'm a single parent.
I've never believed that.
Yeah, I'm a single parent. I am a single parent,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it. I'm just not the parent who doesn't care. I do care about where you are. You know, I don't want you bringing, and I think it starts from young. It starts from, oftentimes, of them even coming in
Mm-hmm.
with money. Like, you're 10.
Mm-hmm.
How are you coming in
How are
with a
you coming
tenner?
with money?
Like,
Yeah.
where did that other child get that £10 from? For you to have that £10,
Fun in the
and it's
first
these
place.
little things like,
Yeah.
and why are you bringing home this game from this child? I don't even know who this person is, and you've got a game. So how did they come by the game? So it's those little things, yeah, in parenting that you kind of need to be on. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're saying to them from a young age, you're kind of questioning, where are you getting stuff from?
Yeah. Because
Yeah, and I think if you overlook these things, don't get me wrong, you can still have these bad experiences. For children,
mm-hmm.
they can be one character before you, and
a different on the
person.
street.
You
Yeah.
understand? So
Yeah.
you know, I just think it's the luck of the draw. It's God. It's a whole. It's not just one thing. It's loads of different things. It's the type of parent you are. It's the community that you're in. It's the people that you're around. You know, it's just loads of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like to parent these 2 big kids, and they're functioning adults. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've done a fantastic job. Do you know what I mean?
I think you have. I mean, for you to be constantly also in touch with your daughter, the way you're saying, I see the way you are with the boys, the younger ones. You're very keen on them. Your eye is on them. But at the same time, I also see you disciplining them
Most definitely.
outside when they're out of order. I hear you telling them off, pulling them down. So you're, on one hand, you're strongly there with love, and the other hand is discipline. And I, a lot of people feel like discipline is actually like, you don't like me, you hate me and stuff. But I think it takes somebody who loves you to discipline you.
Definitely.
There are those who will do it in hate and not in a place of love, but mostly when you're being disciplined.
Yeah.
And I always think actually, my mum, my grandparents, anytime as a child, when I was being disciplined, I was but every time as an adult, every time I look back at certain times in my life, I'm like, actually, if they hadn't, God knows what I would be doing right now,
Definitely.
where I would be, the kind of person I would be. I mean, I got beat, I got told off a lot of times.
Definitely.
And at the time, it wasn't great. But actually, when I think about it, and actually, every time I've been disciplined, more or less 95% of the time has been because I needed to be disciplined.
Definitely.
I'd done something that I needed to be disciplined. So, yeah, definitely. Well done. And wow, 30-something-year-old daughter. I'm still getting my head around that. There was a quote that Sophia Loren said that when you are a mother, you're never really alone in your thoughts. A mother always has to think twice, once for herself and once
Definitely.
for her child.
Definitely.
So I guess once that baby comes, in fact, I guess once you realise that you're having that baby,
Yes,
that's
planning
it
time,
for
isn't
you
it?
being
That's right.
you.
That's
Like
right.
your life is not your life anymore.
Definitely.
That's it. And then, I mean, it didn't deter you the first, second,
No.
third time.
And I think if I could live for 100 years,
Mm-hmm.
I probably would want to have more children, because I'm not anti-children. I do love children.
Yeah.
I think, it's such a blessing to have children. I like the fact that they look like you, and you can see their little characters, and they're a joy to have. Yeah, they come. Don't get me wrong. Some days you think, oh my goodness, you did what? Like you did what? And but I think one of the things about parenting as well, or being a mother, is you have to let some stuff go.
Yeah.
And all of my children will tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I always apologise when I do wrong
Mm-hmm.
with them. So, say,
That's not easy.
no, I do it all the time. I do it because I think you can't be wrong and strong. You know, you're teaching them.
Can't be
You're
wrong and
teaching them how
strong.
you.
I have to write some of these things down.
Want to be, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So, say for argument's sake, so my daughter, I'll get to my daughter. So, she started smoking when she was real young, yeah,
Mhm.
and I was not having a bar of it. So I'd make her eat garlic. She'll tell you this. I made her eat them. I just didn't want her smoking. I'd make her sit down and eat the raw garlic, and tears would be streaming down her face, you know. And I'd be like, I don't want you to be smoking, but I mean, she didn't stop.
No.
But I can honestly say I did, you know, I did something to kind
Yeah.
of stop it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And if like they do something, even now, like sometimes they do something, because I can be quite miserable. My baseline can be quite, you know, like a dripping tap, just nagging. And I hear myself sometimes, and I'm like, Jesus have mercy, you're getting on these kids' nerves. They're lost nerves. Like you're just moaning about, you know, just a spilt drink, and it really is like a spilt drink, and you're on. So
Oh my God.
I tend to, I don't know, I'm thinking of an example, like a recent one.
Uh-huh.
So what did he do? So one of my kids,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so my son, he's got this thing of, he's got a phone, he needs to call, I need to know that you've reached it. I need to know when you get on the bus,
Mhm.
I need to know when you've arrived at school,
Yeah.
I need to know when school is finished, I need to know when you're on the bus,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see you at the door.
Mhm.
That's my, all these phone calls. So I'm like, if you don't call me, that means you don't need the phone, innit? Because the phone is not for Snapchat and Instagram.
Is for
No.
checking
the
in.
phone is to checking in with me, so
Yeah.
I know where you're at, because I need to make sure that you've arrived at school.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to him, right, if you keep doing it, I'm going to take your phone for 2 weeks. You know, obviously, I'm always stretching it. I'm always stretching. I can't even achieve it, but I'm always stretching it.
The threat is there.
The threat is there, but the threat, he just, I know in his head he's just saying, oh, whatever. Because
Oh.
he just still doesn't. He goes, yeah, I forgot now, innit?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean you forgot?
I
What do you
know.
mean you forgot? What much things you got on your
I
brain?
swear
You're
they've
going
got
to
a lot.
school?
They seem to have a lot on their mind, because sometimes the focus.
Yeah, and it's the attitude, and it's the. I'm like, no, you know what? Because you ain't got no manners, innit? So I'm gonna take away your phone. I go in the room. I unplug the PS4. I have like 15 different punishments. I'm shouting. You now got to wash the dishes. You know, like I got a whole range of things that you're now being punished for because you didn't call
You
me.
didn't check in.
Because you didn't check in.
Guys got
And
to
then
check in.
Yeah, and then I go and have a little quiet moment, and I kind of wait up in my head, and I say, okay, the punishment's got to fit the crime.
The cry.
It's got to fit the crime. And then I come back, you know, and then because let's be real.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm saying this in a nice voice. I'm screaming like a banshee.
Yeah.
And then I come back, you know, after, you know, take a moment. I come back and I say, oh, I'm really sorry. You know,
Oh.
I didn't speak to you very well. You know, it
That's-
was quite aggressive. I'm really sorry.
Wow.
I know I said you can't have this, and this. So I'm just going to plug back in your PlayStation.
Oh my
I'm just going to
gosh.
do this, and then, but you're not going to have your phone for a day.
Mhm.
So I've always been that type of parent. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just a new thing. I've always been that type of parent that kind of reflects on,
What you've done.
What I've
you
done.
Said.
and yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah.
I'm not always going to get it right. So we were having a big old argument the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I had said something to him on the phone, and he didn't hear me because the phone got disconnected, and I didn't know. So I'm shouting and screaming, and I'm guaning, and I'm beer noise, and you could have heard me at the top of the road. It was so bad. And then he's going, "Oh, can I talk to you about
Oh.
you hitting me?" I said, "Hitting you? When do I hit you?" I just make out like you're being abused there. I said, I goes, "When do I hit you? Do I just hit you? Am I a mad person?" So it's like, you don't really hit me, mum. But I just want to talk to you. I just want to give you my opinion. Yeah, what is it then? And I'm like, what? And then he's gone out the door. So I've said that he can't go to his dance. He's like crying, Mum.
Oh.
How can you, he's on his way to his show. And I'm now telling him he can't go.
You can't go.
Yeah. So I phoned the teacher, said he's not coming. And she's like, he's got a role. Like, he's got a leading role. So I'm like,
Oh.
okay, it's a bit deeper than this. So I've come off the phone. I'm like, all right, you got a choice. I'm either going to give you the £5 or the change in my bag. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I'm now realising that it's not just about me disciplining him.
It's the
He's
whole
gonna
group,
let
the
down
whole
his
team.
So I
Yeah.
said, all right, you can go. So he's going, all right, I'll take the change. So I gave him £3 instead of a £5. And he was saying, yeah, I didn't hear you say that, and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, so he's gone out the door, and I think he must have been on the bus, and I phoned and I said, I'm really sorry.
Oh.
I did go off on one. I thought you were just being disrespectful and rude.
Yeah.
I take on board that you didn't hear me, and I'm really sorry. And then when he came back in, I said, yeah, I was really rude to you. There's really no need to be so rude. Do you know what I mean? And I apologised again. And I think that part of the humanism of parenting or mothering kind of lets them know that I'm a real person. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've got struggles, you know, and I say to him, like, yeah, I'm quite miserable sometimes. So you say the slightest thing to me, if I've woken up on the left side instead of the right side,
You're in for
you're
it.
in for it. Do you know what I mean? You haven't actually done anything to... So we're always having that conversation. And I think with any relationship, it is about communication.
Yeah.
We're always
Yeah.
having that dialogue where,
Yeah.
you know, I say to him or say to them, you can say what you're saying to me, but choose your timing.
Yeah.
Don't try and argue back with me, because I'm not that parent. You know,
Wait.
It's never going to be a thing. However, if you want to speak to me about something,
Yeah.
you know, choose a quiet time when I'm not hitting the roof, because obviously I just see it as disrespect. So yeah, mothering, man, it's one of the best jobs, most rewarding,
Wow.
but it's equally the most stressful.
So I hear and see sometimes.
Very stressful.
Wow. I mean, I just need my listeners to know that Sharon's obviously not African, because African parents don't tend to apologise, and probably neither does Jamaican parents, actually.
A lot of parents don't apologise.
So a lot of parents don't, but wow, you apologise. I think that's great. That's awesome. I want to send a shout out to, there's quite a few people watching us. So Martha's on there, listening. Hi Jay, hi Junior, Rimby's on, Danielle's here. Hello Juliet, hello Nanette, Mamuna's on, lots of mothers. Hi Samuel, Uncle Sammy's on there. Genevieve, hi Corey, hi Jessica, hello to everybody that's listening to us. I am in the studio with Sharon this evening. This is Fire Live Radio, and you are welcome. Don't forget that the telephone number, the studio line is open, and the telephone number is 0203 002 8482 if you're calling from the UK. If you are calling us on our WhatsApp number, it's +44 203 002 8482. Sharon is taking questions, aren't you?
I am.
Sharon is definitely taking questions. I'm not a mother yet, but I'm also taking questions, and I'm also asking you questions. You know, all the mothers, even the fathers can actually also join in. You can call up and let us know maybe a funny story, maybe about a time you've had to discipline your child, or an occasion where something maybe out of the ordinary happened between you and your child. Just some mothering tales, some encouragement for you know, ones such as myself who are not mothers but wanting to be someday soon. So do join us in the studio. We are live on FireLiveTV on Facebook, so you can also send your comments there. You can send your comments to me on WhatsApp if you have my number. Hello, boss lady. Good evening. Hello, Sharon. Sharon Pencil says, hiya. Hello. Hi, everybody that's waving at us. Call into the studio. Let's have a conversation. I know many of you are mothers, or you will be. Yeah, so Sharon, I can't believe that you do apologise to your children. Mum, if you're listening, although the other day my mum did do something that she did apologise for. But, you know, now we're adults. I wanted some more apologies when I was younger, Mum.
Definitely.
So I think it's important, though, to, like you said, to show the child that you are still human. And, you know, you are the mother, but at some point, too, you also, you're their carer, you're their friend.
Definitely.
You're all of that. So you have to behave in the way that you want them to grow up and behave like.
Definitely.
As well.
Definitely.
So, yeah. well done to you.
And I think with boys, I think when they start secondary school, or you know, they get into this testosterone age, they kind of they think they, especially when they start to get taller than you, or they start to, you understand, like they get into this thing where, I'm telling you, I'm the parent that none of my children are going to be knocking me out. That's never going to happen.
Nope.
And I think that sometimes they kind of get into this thing where they feel like I'm intimidated by them.
You?
I'm never going to be intimidated. I don't care how tall you are, how big you are.
I saw that little glint in your eye when you said never.
Never. I'm never going to be intimidated by any one of my children. If I have to jump on the furniture and fly kick you over,
it's happening.
It's going to happen. I didn't carry you all them months and do all of that nurturing and you're sick and you're, you know, all the things I've had to go through. And then you think now that you've got testosterone running through your veins,
you want to be someone.
No. I'm not that parent. I'm not that. I never have been. You know, I've never have been.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I don't want to declare some of my more violent episodes, but I'm not that parent.
You're not that parent. You're
I'm
not that
parent.
But
no way.
I've seen some, obviously in this age of social media and viral videos, I've seen some really awful things. Videos, and you know, we were talking about some of the things that people just send around on WhatsApp and stuff, just you know. And I've seen a video that I couldn't stop watching it. I opened it, I couldn't stop watching it. I was disgusted, I was crying, but I just couldn't stop. And it was this guy, like big tall guy, physically punching up his own mother and dragging on the floor.
Wow.
And I was just like, at what point does a young man, and it was verified, it was his mum, and he was, you know, swearing and was referring to her as mum, and it doesn't say what she's done, but I'm not a mother, but there's nothing, there's nothing anyone can do, your mother can do, for you to put your hands on them. And that wasn't the first. I've seen a few you know, just younger people being aggressive, you know, verbally abusive, physically abusive to their parents. And I mean, I don't have to ask you.
But I can jump in on that level. So my 7-year-old, he has behavioural problems. He has ADHD. He's definitely got mental health issues. You know, he is violent. He does attack me. He is verbally abusive. He does swear. He's been doing this for years. He's 7. He's been doing this from, I don't know, from about the age of 5. He's been quite violent. But I would say he's been quite verbally abusive from, about a year or so. Like you know, you bring him anywhere, he's always swearing. He swears all the time, you know, but he's got issues. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not like a normal, he can't regulate his emotions, so he doesn't understand the concept of waiting. The way that his brain is wired is not like a normal child his age, and so his response to situations are not normal, you know. I think one day last year he almost knocked me out. Like, he punched me so hard, he bust my lip in 3 places, he smashed up my car, you know, like, this is, you know, and he was 6 when he done this. So a lot of things that I kind of missed is somebody recording that happening to me might think, oh my God, what kind of parent is that, or what kind of child is that? But my child is actually struggling with things that normal children don't struggle with. You know, and you know, he has a lot of professionals involved in his life, and you know, he's run out the window, he's climbed out the window in his brief, he's gone missing. I think last year I must have had about 8 different CAD numbers. I spent a lot of time rolling on the ground where I actually didn't know where he was, where he had absconded, because he has no, you know, no awareness of anything. Once his head goes, he goes. And I think the difficulty with that is how it makes you feel. But because I love my son and know he doesn't know any better, it's kind of like, I went through a lot of this and nobody knew about it, not through any kind of stigma or shame, nothing to do with that, but it's very difficult to kind of explain to somebody what you're going through without them thinking, especially being black, not being bad,
We don't talk
someone
about things
saying
like
to
that.
you about, oh, why don't you beat him, or
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, he's just naughty, or and I'm saying, it's not that. It's not a beating issue, or it's not a naughty issue. It's not.
Mhm.
There's something quite not right. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
children do not do the things that he does.
Mhm.
So one of the things I remember, one time he absconded and we found him, and because I always had to be calling the police because I actually don't know where this child is.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I called the police, and when the police had found him, he attacked the policewoman. He was kicking her. He was spitting at her. She was like
Wow.
in shock, and she was like, "What's he got? What's he got?" And I said, "I don't know what he's got, but there's obviously clearly something wrong with him."
Yeah.
And just the way that he was kind of handled, you know, it really made me feel, wow, a lot of children,
Okay,
like if he was
included.
11
Yeah.
and he was doing this, he'd be arrested,
Yeah.
and nobody would care what was going on for him. No one would care about that. All you'd be seeing is kind of like the actions rather than seeing the person.
Mhm.
And I remember, like, it was a big crowd because he was kicking up this woman. Like he was 100 miles per hour. He doesn't know you. He doesn't care. He's just in his moment. And I remember this African gentleman walked over and just picked him up. My son spat all down his face. He had the spit drip. You know, that's deep. Being black and being
Yeah,
spat on, that's
on is
deep.
not. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the man said, "It's all right, it's all right." And he was punching up the man, and he was spitting, and this went on for about 20 minutes.
And the man held him.
And the man held him, you know. And I
Wow.
always look at it, I always, you know, God sends the right people
At the right
at the
time.
right time.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And everybody, it was like a big thing because this child was proper going for this police officer. And when I look at, so because of the child that I've got,
Mhm.
it's given me like a different outlook to other children.
Mhm.
Before, I just used to think, oh, you're putting as a bad breed, or you're parenting, or, you know, I'd have these preconception of why your child is like this.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I hadn't had any child that I
Right.
couldn't control or
Yeah.
nurture, or, you know, you got the terrible 2s and the terrible 13s and the terrible 15s, and you got the all the, you know, attributes that happen later on in life.
Mhm.
But this boy, this last child, he's just shown me a different way of life. He's given me insight that I never had. So I always have to reset with him.
Mhm.
Every day is like a reset day because
You don't know.
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Mhm,
So do you
mhm.
really hold somebody accountable? Don't get me wrong, some of the things he does drives you nuts.
Mhm.
But essentially, I have to remind myself,
There's an issue.
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, this boy's saying, "You're so dumb," he swears at me, you know, he'll do all manner of things, and you'll be like, okay, you're all right, you know. I don't even, half the time he swears, I don't even deal with it there and then, because to be honest, it is what it is. I wait for him to calm right down, and then I'll be like, you know, I don't like you swearing at me, innit? So it just teaches you that being a mother can look like so many different things, you know, and sometimes when people are looking at you, they're doing, I've seen those viral videos that go around with a child swearing at the parent, and they're saying, oh, what if it was my child, I would do this. And I'm saying, like, before my son, I probably would have had the same
thoughts.
thoughts.
Yeah.
I'd be like, a bad breed picnic, you don't have no manners. But with my son, it's given me like an insight
It's
that
opened up
some
your
parents
eyes.
really struggle. Some children are struggling in this day and age, where they just, for some reason or another, they're just unable to regulate the way that they feel. And I suppose every child can't be a round child being fit into a square peg. You know, children are different, and being a parent of a child with like complex needs is huge, because we went to, like, he doesn't understand the concept of waiting, so I had to take him to his appointment. He had a murmur on his heart, so I had to take him to a heart appointment. And for some reason, we arrived on time. They kept him waiting. Oh my goodness, the boy picked up the chairs. He's throwing the chairs across the room. Like, it's big. And I'm saying, like, no, seriously, you need to hurry up, because I can't contain him for much longer. They said, oh, we're making another appointment. Make another appointment for me to go through this again. You know, and so his behaviour is extreme, you know, over little things. Even like the other day in church. Little did the woman beside me know that I actually stopped her from getting punched up, because my son was coming to punch her up because she's got stud earrings in. So he's got a thing about stud earrings. Little stud earrings turns him absolutely ballistic. So, but you know, thank God, praise and worship was going on. You know, I think it was the offering song, and this woman, he's going to effing air it, and I'm sitting, I'm like thinking, oh my goody God, Jesus help me, please.
Sorry, I'm
And he's
laughing.
moving over,
Wow.
and his arms are swinging, and I've just held him while he's fighting to walk out of church.
Oh my
So you just
God.
think like, oh my goodness, this boy, this poor woman, if she ever knew what was in store for her, I mean,
So what, he likes big earrings?
he likes earrings. Don't know. I'm not going to try and understand crazy. I'm just saying that there's no logic to it. He just doesn't. There's some earrings that people wear
that he just doesn't
that
like.
triggers him and turns him into a different person. Wow. There's no logic in it, but you know. So yeah, parenting. Listen, this is.
It's a lot of. That's
it's a lot.
A lot
but
of challenges.
It's worth it because my son,
mm-hmm.
he doesn't. This is just him where he is. I'd rather you give me trouble now.
Yeah.
Than you're older and you give me trouble. And I feel like with all the help, if you can help him to nurture how he feels, understands how he's feeling, you know, be able to cope with everyday life. When he's older and he can articulate this, what kind of person? He's going to be an amazing person.
Yeah.
So I just think that when I think about all the resources and all the meetings I've got to go to and all the things I've got to do with him, you know, that I don't talk about it with anybody, I just get it done.
Yeah.
You know, because I was in the last year of my degree and I had to stop because he got excluded. He got excluded for 3 months and was going in for an hour a day. And I thought, you know what? I could get someone to look after him, but it wouldn't be me.
No.
So I stopped, and you know, it's good because it's 2 years down the line. But I would now say that he now goes to a special school. He started a month ago.
Okay.
They've told me that he should be. He's getting he's getting inducted, so it takes a while for him to get in. So hopefully by September he'll be like a full-time student. Because if this doesn't work out for him, the next place will be a residential school where I'm not.
You're not there.
I'm not sending my son to no residential school. Forget that. So yeah, parenting is huge, man. Being a mother is huge. It challenges you, but I believe that, you know, I firmly believe that God doesn't give you more than you can bear. So if you're experiencing something, even if you don't have the answer to it, there is something in your arsenal that is going to prepare you for this. Because everyone can't manage. Like, I have many friends, they're like, I don't even know how you do it. Like, how do you even manage? And I say to them, well, what's the option? What's the option? What do I do?
You have to. You can't just
Pack
give
him
up
off
on your
somewhere.
child. Yeah.
You know, like, what do I do? Just abandon him? Just leave him by the roadside and say, all right. No, I'm in this for the long haul. And that's why I say, like, I'm a loyal parent. Whether you're good, bad, or indifferent, I'm
You're
in
there,
your corner.
100.
I brought you here, isn't it? So that's my responsibility. And I feel like because I'm a single parent, and I do feel like because maybe the fathers have abandoned them, I feel like I need to kind of overcompensate to make sure I'm not going to abandon you, regardless of what you do, regardless of what's going on for you, whether you're, you know, whatever happens in your life, I'm going to be there. And I think that that's one of the key aspects of being a mother. That, you know, God says that, can a mother forget her suckling child? And he says that even if she does, I'll never forget you. So it's that kind of, that's me. I'm loyal to the bone. These are my children. I brought them here. And I have to be in their life for the duration, regardless of whatever issues come up for them. And I love my children. So being a mother is definitely a blessing. It's not easy.
No.
But it's definitely worth it.
It's worth it. Wow. Oof, Sharon.
A day in my life, eh?
A whole day in your life, and you're teaching me so much. I mean, I know there was a time that you did put it forward that, you know, there was an issue with your son, and so we should keep you in our prayers and stuff. But were you here actually telling me, you know, you started off, you know, I discipline my kids and all of that, and then you have this child that actually you can't do the same thing, and you know, it's not a blanket for all of your children. So I know that's definitely a challenge, and I'm glad to hear also that, you know, you are getting some help with him.
Definitely, finally.
They are, because I'm just wondering how long, because in the black community, most of all, we don't recognise ADHD.
Yeah.
We certainly, you know, where I grew up and, you know, the background that I come from, my culture, we don't believe in that. You know, things like that, they'll say, well, I'd never even heard of it, ADHD, or it's just this child is misbehaving.
Bad breed.
They need beatings. oh, look, the mother must
Yeah.
let me just whip them a little bit, and then, you know,
No,
and so, but
definitely.
that's not it. And in the black community as well, we don't really.
Definitely.
It's almost like a stigma.
Yeah.
Like you don't. So even if something like that is going on, you keep it quiet
Yeah.
because you don't want to be stigmatized.
Definitely. I mean, I
Um,
think one of my qualities, I do care what people say, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't really care what
I
people
know.
think. I'm not really, I'm my own person. I feel like that's your business.
Yeah.
You're not really involved in my life.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I've got anything to lose.
Yeah.
And so I remember from pretty young, I was saying, no, this child ain't right. Something's not right with this child. And people say to me, you can't say that. I said, there's no shame.
And
There's no
recognizing
shame
when there's an
this,
issue.
This child ain't right. You understand? Like, I can't put my finger on it, but I know.
There's something.
Listen,
Yeah.
this little boy is a few pennies short of £1. Yeah, I know. I know something ain't a full ticket. And so I would have a few friends say, like, you can't say that. I said, no, this and I'm saying,
You know what
there
you
is
know.
nothing wrong.
Mm.
And I think that sometimes people are influenced by what other people say, like, oh, you mustn't say that, or keep it quiet, or
Mhm.
no, I think isolation is the enemy's biggest tool.
Yeah.
As long as you think that you're the only one going through this thing,
Mhm.
you feel like you have to have the ears and graces of it so that
Yeah.
you're not judged, or people don't put you down. But really, does it really matter what people think?
No.
I mean, if they're not helping you,
They don't
Then-
matter.
what's the benefit?
Yeah.
And I feel that as mothers, some of the things we experience,
Mhm.
we keep it to ourselves. The really poor behaviour from our children, and the really bad experience, and when they're going, like the real shameful things. Your child goes to school and is doing something really shameful. They might be smoking, they might be smoking weed, or they might be smoking, or they're getting into trouble. And it's like we don't want to talk about that. When we start talking about it, especially in church,
Mhm.
when your child's incarcerated now,
Yeah.
and or there's a court case coming up, and you now want the church to pray,
Mhm.
when really, they
should.
say a stitch in time saves 9. So
Mm.
if when you've got the smaller behaviours, we're praying about those types of things,
It won't escalate.
it doesn't really escalate.
Mm.
But if you're keeping it to yourself, remember the Bible says, one sets 1,000 to flight, and two sets 10,000. So it tells you that there's power in joining with somebody and praying over a situation.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think that you just there doing your little 1,000. If
Mm.
I can join with somebody, that's exponential growth.
Yeah.
10,000.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what if there's 3 of us? What if there's 5 of us?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that there's definitely power. You can't give up on your children. You can't, no matter how
No.
they look, no matter how it presents. Not you. Let someone else give up on them.
Not
Do you
you.
know what I mean? But not you. You had them. You might not like. It doesn't matter if they look like the daddy. If they don't look like the daddy.
Yeah.
You're your father's son. You ugly. You're your father's son.
You bad son.
Yeah, you have to be in that child's corner. You carried them. You have to be.
I'm getting a lot of messages from people saying, so Sharon says, you rock, Sharon. Your name says you rock, Sharon. Well done. And I'm learning so much. The Lord bless and strengthen you for this noble cause. And she says, well done for hosting you too. I'm not doing much. You're doing a show. Bev messaged and she says that I'm listening and thank Sharon for being so open about her situation. She's a great role model. I've got a few more messages saying well done. I'm really learning a lot today. I'm enjoying listening to you. Sharon is funny but a realist at the same time. This is true. This is like Sharon, and what I really do love about you is that matter of fact attitude that you have. Was you're a lovely person but you don't suffer fools.
No,
I've noticed that, and you always have a great smile on your face, but at the same time you've got so much going on with you
Definitely.
at home that you're definitely counting your blessings, and I really do love that about you. Quite a lot of the ladies, the women of excellence are on, and they're all saying well done. Sharon, they're all learning a lot. Rumbi says definitely learning a lot from this, and she's giving you some claps. Whoop whoop whoop. So wait, you thank you for sharing. I know that we weren't really going to touch on that, but do feel free to tell me what you want to tell me. You have a poem.
Yeah, I do have a
You
poem
wrote
actually.
about
Okay, and
mothers. If you,
I'll tell you where this comes. So, okay, I have a different. I have a different concept of being mothered because my mum made it very plain to me from a young age. I never wanted you. I never, you know. I remember her. I was about 10 when she said. So my mum brought me up saying I'm black and ugly and I'm never going to be any good. So these were kind of like the things that I heard on a daily basis in my household. I had an older brother who was fair skinned. I mean, I'm not even that dark, but my mum is mixed race.
You're practically white.
Yeah, my mum is mixed race, and my brother is the same complexion as my mum, really,
Okay.
really fair skinned. And so my mum had a real issue with my blackness. I mean, God will help her if I was actually
Wow.
much
If you were
darker
my
than this.
complexion, you'd be thrown in the
She
gutter.
probably slit her wrist, but you know, she had a real issue. And I remember her telling me at 10, you know, when I found out I was pregnant with you, I tried to kill myself, and look, you're still here. You know, so I remember just being brought up at a young age, just feeling really unloved, and just not having that space to kind of, not having that protection and the nurture that kind of you're meant to have as a parent. So I felt like my mum, you know, yeah, I didn't think she was a good mum. I still don't think she's a good mum. Like, I don't have much contact with her, but that's more about self-preservation, more than anything else. My mum is like a tornado. You don't know when it's coming, but the mess left afterwards, it's just, you know, this is it, that's there. And I feel that she often leaves me in emotional turmoil. And I remember like going to counselling and, you know, looking around and been around people whose mothers weren't like my mother, and always looking at, well, what's wrong with me? Like, what did I do wrong? And people would say, oh, maybe it's because of who your dad is, or, you know, I'd always have people who would try and make out like I had a role to play in why my mum is the way that she is with me.
You didn't ask,
you know, and I spent a lot of years being really, really angry about the whole situation. And I wasn't brought up in church, so I didn't know about God and all of those things. So I never really had that anchor of salvation. So I was just really, really angry a lot of the time. And I'd buy my mum stuff because my mum loves money. So she'd always, if I bought stuff for her, she'd be nice to me. You know, if I paid for her to go on holiday. So I'm always thinking of how I could, you know, pay my way. Maybe if I'd done this, she'll like me. And I remember just simple things of like getting her to babysit my daughter was just like a big drama. You know, you'd think she's the only grandchild, but she just wasn't. You know, I remember one day sending my daughter around there. I was going to work. I lived literally 2 minutes away from my mum, and I sent my daughter out. I roasted a chicken and sent the chicken round with my daughter. And when my daughter arrived, she said, "Oh, Mum, you know what she said to me? What, does she expect you to eat the dried chicken?" In other words, like, you think like, wow, it's chicken. Like, why wouldn't you want to put other things with it? But my mum would be like, "Did you come to my house today? Did you eat one of my eggs? Don't eat none of my eggs." Or, "Did you have some of my juice? My juice was this level." So and this is like all through, this isn't just being a child. This is like going through quite a lot of my lifetime where, you know, children, girls need mothers. They need their parents.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They
That's
need
the
their
reality.
mothers,
That's
yeah.
why you have them. You know, you need the security that comes from parenting. You need the lessons from parenting, and so I felt that the only lessons I had were feeling really rejected or not being a part of anything. And then I remember watching a movie, and the man said in the movie, like old Western, he said, if the people who have you don't care about you, how can you expect anyone else to care about you? And I remember for years that really stuck with me, where that was kind of like my mantra of, I didn't expect, I think that's what makes me so independent. I don't expect a lot from other people, because obviously the people that brought you into the world weren't really there for you. So how can you expect people that you just meet to kind of fit that gap? And so I remember when I got saved, you know, they're always talking about honour your mother and father and all of this stuff, and I wanted to be obedient to God, but I knew what my mother looked like. So it wasn't the pattern of what I'd seen around me, and I really, really struggled. You know, I'm struggling with, how do I honour these people? How do I honour these people that have never, you know, never treated me with any kind of love or compassion?
Yeah.
Like I was like a benefit. You know, you had me, you were getting benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the benefit. I was, you were getting
Cash
benefit,
cow.
and that, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's, I didn't really have that whole nurturing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote this poem
Okay.
because, as I said, it was a real struggle. It's a real struggle, and the thing is, when you're trying to, I don't normally talk about this, but I feel like I wanted to talk about it today because not everybody has a good experience of being mothered.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people have. A lot of people do,
And a lot
but
don't.
a lot of people don't. And
Mhm.
so this is like it's very difficult to tell somebody who's got a loving parent or loving mother, loving father, what it was like to not have a loving. They can't even begin to comprehend it because, you know, I've had people say, "Oh, what, you don't talk to your mum? How can you not talk to your mum? What's wrong with you? What have you done?" And they have this whole catalogue of, you know, it's like a shopping list of what I ought to be doing. And
Mm.
you know, as I said, I went counselling because it's something that kind of chews you up. It makes you think,
Yeah.
God, you know,
What's wrong
what
with me?
have
Yeah.
I done?
Yeah.
What have I done? And I remember like going to counselling, and the woman's like, "Oh, write your mum a letter and then give it to her, or just write her a letter and never give it to her." And I think that I'm saying all this to get to the point of somebody can be in your life forever and never change.
Mm.
You know, and I think going to counselling, they kept on telling me that your mum is going to be different. Don't worry, if you tell her how you feel, don't worry, things would... She's never any different. I've told her how I feel. We've had the conversations, you know. I've done all I can do, and as far as she's concerned, she said to me, "Well, I looked after you till you were 13. What more do you want?" You know, and I said, "Well,
13.
13. You know, most people look after their children."
So
Past
still
the age
going.
of 13, but I think that was the poignant moment that made me realise that sometimes people don't change. That's the reality, and I think we're so used to talking about the change of people and people being better that sometimes when you're the recipient, when you're the receiving end of this,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for that, you're expecting that person to be different.
Yeah.
And my mum is exactly the same now as she was
Then.
then. She wasn't ever wrong. You know, I should be grateful she looked after me till I was 13.
Oh.
You know, after all, she didn't want me anyway. So her viewpoint of me has never changed. So going to counselling and speaking to people and they say, "Oh, we'll get better as you get older," and then you think, well, actually, it hasn't gotten any better.
Mm.
I've now had to deal with it in a different kind of way, and it really came about. This is the poem that I wrote,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that this was like the turning point of the whole matter for me.
Yeah.
So it says, "Honour both mother and father is the only command with promise. What is honour and why the promise? When I was treated with so much disrespect. It's just so hard to obey this part. When I look back in my past and come to grasp in adulthood that the treatment was just way too harsh. The nurturing was absent, no love or tender care, exposing me to all sorts. Proper boundaries were so rare. Tears of sorrow and sadness were so common back then. It altered my future and focus. I often died from within. Why did you not love me, acting so selfishly? Now I'm trying to make sense of all you've done to me. Where's the reward for your actions? How comes nothing's been done? How comes you seem oblivious with no acknowledgement of wrong? Of all the things you put me through, almost destroyed my confidence. How can it now be down to me to put right all their wrongs? I really want to be obedient to all the Bible says. Oh God, I struggle at this hurdle. Don't you know just what they did? How can you ask me to do this and let them off the hook and treat them with honour and respect? When it was their turn, all I got was total neglect of love and tender care, which was what they should have given instead of what I witnessed. Oh Lord, how can you ask me to forgive them? And then I hear your gentle voice from deep within my heart, reminded me I'm an adult now. All these things are in the past. According to the scriptures, I must press toward the mark, found only in Christ Jesus, the gatekeeper of my heart. You say I must cast my cares on you because you love me so, and focus on the destiny that lies ahead of me. What the enemy had meant for evil, only good will come from this. If in you it never happened, as you cleansed me from all sin. So now I see my mother through the blood that was shed for me, and when I look at my father, I remember Gethsemane, the drops of blood you sweated for such a time like this. All I can do is thank you, living a life of bliss. Honouring my parents is the right thing to do, so now I'm obedient because, Lord, I love you. So that was the kind of turning point.
Wow.
Yeah, God is a good God, man. Because he says that when your mother and father forsake you, so it shows that there's going to be some people in life that are forsaken by their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't often talk about those people. You know, and those people don't often talk about what it is to be forsaken by their parents. Do you know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
you've got this kind of yearning. But I'm telling you, God fills every hole.
Wow.
Every hole. Every hole, I'm telling you.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's got me quite emotional, actually. Okay.
God is a good God. Trust me, I've lived with this for a long time, you know. And I've kind of got to the point where a lot of people say to me that you should forgive, or you know, it's not. I have forgiven my mum. It's not a forgiveness. I think sometimes you have to just make wise choices. You know, you have to recognise when somebody isn't putting you in a place of where it's going to be good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And you know, hopefully one day she will change, and if she doesn't, then she doesn't. But hopefully, because I mean, even at, like my youngest, he saw her at he saw her at a wedding 2 years ago, and he said, "Oh, you're my gran, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm your gran." And he said, "Oh, I love you. Can I come to your house?" She said, "I don't live anywhere, so that's not going to be possible." I mean, how do you say that? My son was like, how do you say that? You know? And we all looked at each other and thought, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. My poor, and he's like, yeah, she's my gran. She doesn't live anywhere. Where is she going to live? And his concept is, you know, my youngest is such a loving person. He just loves family. He just wants to know that you're related to him. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like you just got to work with what you got. I think, you know, I have love for my mother because she's my mother, but I make a conscious decision to keep myself safe. You know, the relationship isn't great. I want to be great, so I keep myself safe.
And you're great.
Yeah,
Sharon.
that's how I manage it.
You're great. You know, you hear stories like this, and then they themselves turn around and repeat it with their children, and then it carries on. But I mean, you are a perfect example of taking a bad thing and turning it into a good thing. You started off, you're telling us you're loyal to your kids. You know, you're never going to give up on your children. You're always in their corner, 100%. And, you know, speak at the beginning, no one would ever guess this is how your upbringing was. This is what the kind of pain that you went through. Nobody would ever think that you didn't come from a place of love. So for you to show all that love to your children, it takes strength. And I think also your faith is definitely something that's helped you to get to that stage. I mean, you see this poem, wow. You've reconciled with yourself, and you're being obedient to God's words, but you're still securing your happiness.
Definitely.
Within you, and it takes a lot to come to that to that place. You know, we don't talk about things in our community. This is something that I never expected you to open. I know you're that person, and you know you say what you've got to say, and you're done. You don't you're that person, but so many people wouldn't share this because we don't talk about things in a home. They'll say, "Oh, you're hanging your dirty laundry outside," but actually it isn't. It's because we have so much hurt in our community, and a lot of things are going wrong in our community because I feel like we don't talk about things.
Definitely.
reconcile
isolate.
hate.
It's that isolation thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? As long as you've got this thing that's saying these things don't happen,
Yeah.
Then we can, I just think you just have to expose it for what it is. It's made me who I am today.
Mhm.
Have I struggled with a lot of things? Of course. Am I
Yeah.
still struggling with a lot of things? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. No matter how you're brought up, you're going to struggle. That's what life is. Life is a struggle. But I feel that, like one of the things that I'm really convinced about is that everybody's got a path to walk in life, and the path, some people are making paths, so I could be making a path for other people to walk on.
Yeah.
There are people that have made paths that I can walk on today. So I think that it gives people kind of like a different understanding of we're flawed people.
Yeah.
Bad things happen, but all things work together for good. Do you know what I mean? Like I know, like even as I'm getting older, it's like even in the past couple of months, I can hear I'm getting more miserable, and then it reminds me of how my mother was, and I'm like, slowing down. I'm praying about it because I don't want to be miserable, and I feel like when I start to identify negativity, I'm not just going to look at it and talk about it and pretend it's not there. And I think that's because I do a lot of evaluating as a person. Like I look at myself, I think you could have done this better, or how did you get into that situation? And I think that evaluating, if you don't have the ability to look at yourself and kind of take yourself apart and put yourself back together, I think you can walk around thinking that you are perfect or you have got it all together, rather than exposing yourself to actually, I'm not really good at this, or I'm really good at that. I can get better at this, and I can. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't think God made a mistake in the way that I was brought up. I mean, I spent a lot of time having negative dialogues with God about why would you allow me to be brought up in such a household. But I think that my life is a testament to you have a role to play in this.
Yeah.
So even though I was brought up that way, I haven't always made the right choices with my children because of some of the poor choices that I was involved in, but I make conscious effort to kind of address issues. And
Correct.
as I said, like, I'm human, I make mistakes, but I have a great relationship with my children. We talk, we get on, we express things, we talk about things, we argue, but fundamentally, because I love them, that's the basis of everything, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And I think, as the Bible says, love conquers all. So you love your children, you will conquer whatever that situation is, whether it's bad behaviour, whether it, I've had children that have been really sick, I've had like a range of things going through this parenting, but I've always remained steadfast. And I think being a mother, that's what, to me, what kind of mother am I? I'm a steadfast mother. I don't care what's going on. I'm in it to the end.
That's
regardless.
right. You're your children's ride or die.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
I'm your Bonnie and Clyde, man. You don't need no one else.
That's it. Just mummy. That's it. Wow, we've got some more messages coming through. Like, everybody's really just literally applauding your honesty and for being so open with us all. Hello to Nana. To Denise's message, say, this is so powerful. Thank you, Sister Sharon. I salute you for sharing your vulnerable side. There's nothing to be ashamed of. God has brought you this far. Be assured He won't leave you. And I know that you fully also believe that. Our has joined us. Silla's, quite a lot of people has joined us this evening. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to this awesome lady has joined me in the studio today. We're talking about motherhood. If you haven't been tuned in for a while, joined us on Fire Live Radio. We've got about 15 minutes left to go, but wow, Sharon, thank you so much for just being so open about this. Can't be an easy thing to talk about, but at the same time, I feel like you are able to talk about it because you've come, you've reconciled with it.
When you've kind of, I mean, to be honest.
Oh, we've got a caller. 1 second, please. Hello, caller.
Hi, Sewa.
Hello, Bev. How are you? Can you hear?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Good.
I've been listening and I just thought I just had to call in because Sharon, you're just I don't know. I haven't got much words, but all I can say is I'm not a mother, but if I'm able to have, you know, half the qualities that you have as a mother, I would just.
Hello? Oh no. I will just is reconnecting. Hello, Bev?
Hello?
Yeah, you got cut off as at I would just.
Oh, right. I would just. I can't remember what I said now. But yeah, I mean, the qualities that you have, like I was just saying, I'm not a mother, but the qualities that you have, Sharon, I mean, in the future, when I become a mother, like, I'll just be, I don't know, if I could have half the qualities that you have as a mother and your outlook in life, I would be happy because you're just amazing. Like, listening to your
She
story,
is.
I've been listening, and it's just touched me. It really has.
Yeah, I think everybody as well. It's really, it's wow. You are an amazing woman, and I'm definitely I'm with Bev on this. That when I do come to the time when I am having children, and you know, I also have this outlook, and you know the way that you know you're able to apologize to your children, you're their rock. More or less, and obviously your children love you because you know Mother's Day is a testament the way they showered you with love, and just to come out from a place where love wasn't shown, love wasn't taught, and for you to totally turn it around 360 and then just be a totally different person full of so much love and just common sense too.
Yeah, definitely.
And character and being so open, it's just amazing. So thank you, and thank you, Bev, for you know calling in to tell her.
Very nice of you.
Yeah, I think everybody's. Thank you, Bev. Thank you. I think everybody's listening are feeling the same way, but the story is so deep. That you don't want to take yourself away from it. It's almost like you're going to disturb the whole thing. But it's fine if you guys do want to call in. We've got 12 more minutes. And Jedda's joined us. Nana Bamford's joined us. Quite a few more people have joined in. Please do call in. Let us know what you think about the show today. If you've got anything to say to Sharon, she's here and she's listening. Can also message us as well. So I want to move this to the other mothers, the grandmothers.
Yes, I'm a
so,
granny.
so wait, you are a grandmother?
Yeah, but he's not allowed. Okay, so
he's not allowed to call you grandma.
No. My name is MG because I'm way too fly. I'm way too hot to be anybody's grandmother. I'm
way
not
too
your granny.
fly.
I'm not your nan.
I'm fly.
He calls me MG.
MG.
Yeah, my gran. So I'm
My
saying
gran.
like, when you come around my house, you know, like when he was born,
Yeah.
I was pushing him in the shop, and the man was like, "Oh, your baby's so lovely." I'm like, "That's my grandson." The man stopped.
Because
Like,
Sharon.
Like he looked, he stopped, he looked, he stopped, he looked.
Yeah.
He said, "What are you talking about?" So I looked at myself. I mean, to be honest, on a regular day, people think I'm between the ages of 29 to 32. Yeah, which is cool. You know what I mean? So I can't have this youth running around calling me gran. Are you mad?
This youth.
No way. That's never gonna happen. So I thought, you know what? MG.
How old is your grandson?
He's 3. He was 3 in January.
I can't
They called me
believe this.
MG. Even like I brought him to church and someone said, "Oh, I don't always see your baby." I said, "'Cause it's not my baby, it's my grandson." They was like, "Oh my God,
We can't believe this.
My grandson, not my baby."
I can't
MG.
first believe that you've got a child who's over 30, a child who's even over 20. I really thought the young ones, the two that I know, that was
so
it.
Imagine, I can't have this boy
Calling you grandma.
This is why I'm single. I'm single because I either have some real young boy, come on, let's keep it real. You're way too young for me. I remember walking through the town centre and the guy said, "Oh, miss, can I have a word, please?"
God.
So I'm like, how old are you? I'm 21, isn't it?
21.
21. Are you for
Sharon,
real?
listen, I don't blame this little boy.
Is that age is nothing but a number? No. It's a number that you. We're gonna move on. What about my 21? What would I be doing with you? This is why. And then when you see the old men that are trying to chat me up, it's because they think I'm really young.
So they want to be that
So
sugar daddy type.
they want to be with some young girl with no sense. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to look old. I'm so glad
You're
I don't
just
look,
Sharon.
yeah,
You
I'm
don't.
so glad I don't look old. So I'm not even an.
What is it? What do you drink? What do you what do you use?
To
What
be
is
honest,
it?
I've got to say it's God, because when I was younger, I used to party hard. I looked like an old woman. You know, when I was 18,
So
19,
you reversed the whole thing.
I'm telling you, it's literally like, what's that character? Benjamin Button. I'm Benjamin Button. So when I used to rave 6 days a week, I only used to take one day off, which was a Wednesday, to recuperate, but I would rave all the other days.
Oh my gosh.
And trust me, no one needed to ask me for ID to get into the club, because I was all worn out and looking all tired.
Wow,
But now I'm
not
old.
anymore.
I mean, I get asked for ID to buy a bottle of wine, and you think
Some
like,
fine
seriously?
wine business going on
Yeah,
here.
so it's good though. Can't have no child running around calling me granny.
Oh my God.
No, it's not gonna happen.
None of that.
None of that.
Letting the cat out of the bag. Roomba says my MG, my
Yes,
gran.
my gran. So
I
he'll be like,
can't
I'm going
believe
round to
this.
MG's house. Yeah, MG. That's what everybody. MG.
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 I can't believe I'm not gonna ask you your age.
I don't care. I'm 49. Now I'm 50 next year. I don't care. I can wear that.
Wow.
I can wear that very well. Because some people are 50 and they look. That's not me.
They look very 50 plus VAT.
I'm alright, man. I'm
Wow,
good, I'm good.
you look good.
Yes, I'm big 50 next year, so
We're gonna celebrate, yeah?
most definitely.
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
definitely.
I can't believe this. There's a lot of things that I'm learning about you today that I never knew, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity for us to do this in the
No,
studio.
It's been a pleasure.
And I'm sure everybody listening as well. And I'm so gutted that we had that technical hitch earlier on, because it means we've lost 30 minutes. But that's okay, because I feel like we've gotten so much in.
Yeah.
But before we go, I just want to ask you your thoughts on, just, even if not your thoughts, some advice to me.
Yeah, I think you have to enter this with, I'm gonna love you, regardless of what comes. I think that's, you have to be committed. But I think also, like, don't. It's not you against the world with this child. It's partnership. And one of the things whichever one of my children's schools I've gone to, I've ever had to go in for a meeting, even when they've been really young, if the teacher's telling me my son or my daughter's been disrespectful, I'm always going to correct them there and then and say, look, the teacher is not here for you to be disrespected. And I think what's always been key is, because I am so honest, I am quite direct. I'm like Marmite, you like me, you don't like me, that's up to you. Life goes on, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And I would say, just always, I think self-reflection, I think you always have to evaluate, you always have to look at, because you can always do better. There's always things I can do better, but if you're never looking at yourself, why would you ever think you can do better?
Yeah.
And I think in parenting, children do challenge you. I mean, there are days when you think, God, why did I even have these children? Like, why? But overall, they are a blessing. Like, they're joyful. They make you laugh. They give you, I think they keep you youthful. I mean, especially this last one, he's got me running miles. Like, he's got me running, So yeah, my advice is, don't be like me and be a single parent. It's a hard job. Choose somebody who wants to stay the course, not the guy that's just going to stay for right now, and talk more. Do you know what I mean? Involve, even though I've been a single parent, a lot, their dads have been around, but I've probably fought for them to be around, because I just think that we need to do this together. But I would say that I've had the majority of the responsibility. So prayer, man. Prayer, and love conquers all. And as long as, if you look at your children and say to yourself, I love these children, no matter how they present, you love them. That's the role of a mother. Do you know what I mean? You're here to nurture, to love. That's your continual role. So
Mhm.
even if everyone else is against your child,
Yeah.
you can't be against your child.
No.
Somebody has to be in that child's corner, and you carried that child. So, yeah. And I'm, as I said, I'm not touchy feely, huggy. That's not. I want to work. Trust me. If anyone knows me, I'm struggling. These past 2 years, I've had to be this boy's carer. I feel like my brain's turning to mush. Yeah, I can't wait to get back into work. I can't wait to get back into studying. I can't wait to get. But he's so worth it. I love
Yeah.
my boy. He is so.
Yeah.
He's so worth the 2 years that I've given up. The struggle of everything. He's worth it because I know that he'll come good.
Yeah.
And I think that's what faith is about.
Mhm.
Faith is the substance of things you can't see. You can't see it. You know, the evidence is not in front of you,
Mhm.
but you're believing that God's got his hand on the button and
Yes.
things are going to change.
Yes.
And I just think that's what it is. Don't be a parent without God. You know, make sure Christ is in that parenting, because when you're pulling out your hair and all of these things, he'll give you sanity.
Yeah.
And he'll make you youthful like me. You know,
In it.
youthful.
We see that. We see the blessing shining all over you.
Youthful.
People are saying, for F's sakes, you're not going
I
to
am.
be 50.
I am.
You're
I
not
am.
49.
I
But,
so
you know,
am.
she said it. I didn't say it. Sharon said it herself. We might have to... I have to look at a passport on Sunday, so bring something in. We need to verify
I'm
these...
born in 1970. 1970. So
No.
definitely.
Well, I need to drink what you're drinking, sister. I do. So, do you know what? I think I have experiences of African parents and African mothers, and there's things that the mothers will say to you. You know, that thing that's always like in your head. Are you that parent that has those kind of quotes that you dish out to the kids all the time?
I mean, one of the things I probably say to my children is, if you can't govern yourself, someone else will govern you.
Yeah,
And they won't care how you feel.
yeah,
They won't care what it looks like. So, especially like in this day and age of bringing up black boys, you know, I'm always saying to my son, I'm always giving him these examples of, you have to learn to govern yourself. You have to learn, you know, if a policeman stops you and asks you your name, just answer it.
yeah,
You know, governing yourself, because if you don't answer it, the drama of what comes with that, it could have been over in a hot minute. You know, so I'm always saying to him, the world isn't your friend, and stop going around thinking that the world owes you something. The
Yeah.
world doesn't owe.
Doesn't owe you nothing.
What the world owes you, it gives you. It gives you 24 hours in a day. It gives you oxygen. You know, this is what. Anything else is a bonus. So I'm always trying to, and I say that because I think a lot of young people these days, a lot of people, not even just young people, they feel entitled. They feel like the world owes them something. You know, the kids used to say to me, well, I never asked to be here. And then one day I said, well, which child ever puts in the application form? Which child? Tell me, show me the child that has said,
That said, I want to come
I'm going to come to these
to these parents.
I
Yeah.
said, like, no one wants to be here. But you're here now.
So deal with it.
Get on with it. Because that used to be one of my daughter's favourite quotes. Well, you had me. I didn't ask to be here. And I had to. And I always used to feed into it. And then one day I just said, like, nobody put in an app to be here. The parents made a decision. They did an act. And we're here.
That's it.
That's it.
It's
So,
done.
My thing is, if you don't govern yourself, the world will govern you. And the world will not be kind when they govern you. Because they're not going to care how you feel. They're not going to care about your issues. They're just going to do whatever. So govern yourself. But I would say, as a parent, learn to say sorry.
Yeah, it's
Learn
very
to say sorry.
important.
Let children know that you ain't got. That we're not perfect. Don't
No.
let children. Don't bring up the children thinking that you're perfect,
Mhm.
and then you're holding them up to be perfect.
Yeah.
Let them know that I make mistakes too.
Yeah.
I might be having a really bad day, and that's the reason why I've said what I've said.
Mhm.
It's all right to be honest and go back and say, you know what, I was
I
wrong.
was wrong.
You gain more respect from them in the long
Yeah.
term. So yeah,
Yeah.
self-evaluation and just love your children.
Well, there you have it, everybody. It is 10 o'clock. I have tons more questions to ask, but I feel like you're going to have to come back in, Sharon. We've got to... I mean, I know there's other things that you wanted to talk about as well, but this was the first.
Definitely.
So I really, really hope that you will come back again, because I've thoroughly enjoyed this evening with you. I felt a bit emotional earlier, but I've really loved having you here. I knew it was going to be a great show today.
Thank you.
But you really went in and you really opened up, and you just brought us all there with you, and I really, really do appreciate it, and I thank you just for being a woman that you are. And I also actually thank your mum, because has she not been the way she is, I don't think you would be the woman that you are.
Definitely not.
I think you'd be very different, would
Yeah.
take a lot of other things for granted. But so your children and your grandchildren also have a lot to thank your mother for as well, because
Definitely.
she's definitely made you a
Resilience.
great woman in a very indirect way.
Mhm.
And I mean, she's missing out on a great woman.
Yeah.
And I
great
hope,
grandchildren.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
and I do hope that one day she, whatever it is that's on her heart, that's weighing her down so
Mhm.
much, that she does reconcile with that, and then, you know, come to you before, because, you know, tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's times that she'll sit there and feel, or, you know, but you know what these old school people are like also?
Yeah.
They don't know how to say sorry, and they're never wrong.
And then I think equally,
Hmm.
if she never, you know, the Bible said that hell enlarges itself daily. So it means that there are loads of people who never self-examine.
Yeah.
You know, and so my thing is, don't expect people to change.
Yeah,
You change the way you interact with people.
that's it.
So even if she doesn't, if she does it, it's a benefit. But if she doesn't,
It's fine.
that's her thing, not mine.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
not your
take
problem.
what's mine. Yeah,
that's
take
it.
what's mine, definitely.
Be great. Well, viewers, listeners, everybody, thank you for joining. And hello, sis. My Sandra joined in very last minute, but I'm sure she'll listen to this at a different point. Thank you to everybody who's listened in. Thank you, Bev, for calling in. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Nay said, yeah, you must invite Sharon again. She's saying what most of us want to talk about, which is true. She missed a little bit at the start, but she said from what she's gathered, it's been great so far. So we will thank you very much for coming in. I thank everybody for also joining in with us. Apologies again for being late. And I will see you next week with another guest, or maybe just by myself. I might have a dilemma next week. I've got a few very interesting dilemmas in my inbox, so we might do a dilemma show next week, but who knows. Have a wonderful week. The weather's looking okay in London.
Yeah, fantastic.
Today was 20 apparently. Let's hope tomorrow we don't have a different season.
No, it's meant to be 24 on Saturday. So
Ah!
it's up and up and up. So
And I'm going to a wedding
Yeah.
on Saturday.
fantastic weather for a wedding.
Yeah, my cousin's getting married. He's a big boy. So shout out to Junior and Shekinah. Oh, shout out to my very good friend Ele, whose birthday was today. She's been my girl for a very long time. And thank God for your life. Happy birthday to my nephew Aaron. His name's Aaron, but I don't know why. I can't just say Aaron. It says Aaron. Happy birthday out there in Connecticut. See, I said it with the accent. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a blessed evening. Have a blessed week. And I shall see you next week. Goodbye. Sharon, say bye-bye to
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful evening.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks for all your well wishes.
Yeah, everybody really,
Yeah, enough
really.
respect. That's
really-
how we do the thing, you know.
And so we do.
That's how
And so we
the
do.
thing.
Oh, you know what? Have you got a song we can play out with?
No, I don't know the names of songs.
Oh,
I'm so rubbish.
how does it? Me too. I'm the same.
Don't know
How
names.
can we both be like this, Sharon?
Mm-mm.
This is not good.
It's not good, oh, my sister.
Oh, my sister, what is this? What is this? Do you know what? I will play.
Have you got Reckless Love?
I can find it. So
Yeah.
I've moved on from YouTube DJ to SoundCloud DJ.
Okay.
So now, yes, I have Reckless Love,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
That's
play it.
appropriate.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, you know what I did do, don't you? Here we go. What is this? Where is this? Do you know what? Is this it?
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. before